at this board. MedWheel, along with several other community partners, believes that the master plan inaccurately and unnecessarily transfers approval authority for future improvements to the U.S. Forest Service and other federal agencies. We have a proposal, it's in front of you, for improved wording that we'd like you to ask county staff to implement. As you know, Jones Park was transferred from Colorado Springs Utilities to El Paso County in 2016 with clear direction from citizens and leadership that Jones Park should be managed locally rather than transferred to the U.S. Forest Service. At that same time, both city and county leadership provided clear instructions for providing protection of the unique greenback cutthroat trout, our state fish, within the Bear Creek drainage that makes up a significant portion, but not all, of the county's Jones Park property. The third priority in 2016, after local control and preservation of the fish, was consideration of additional recreational opportunities should the conditions in Jones Park allow it in the future. In order to ensure the highest standards of protection for the fish, while at the same time maintaining local control, El Paso County hired the Palmer Land Trust, now the Palmer Land Conservancy, to create a conservation easement. This is a legal document requiring analysis by the experts at Palmer Land to determine whether any proposed changes will uphold the conservation values for this property. The easement that Palmer Land holds requires consultation with the U.S. Forest Service, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the Endangered Species Act, as well as other agencies. The easement requires Palmer Land to ensure that the fish are adequately protected. As a county, El Paso County citizens have paid Palmer Land to use their expertise and local knowledge to guide future conversations about Jones Park. So what is the issue? The plan that is moving ahead now incorrectly states that future trails will not be considered and that any changes in Jones require approval from U.S. Forest Service and other federal agencies rather than consultation. So this is not a legal requirement, and it unnecessarily transfers the county's local authority to federal agencies, the opposite of what was specified in 2016. I want to remind you that this includes any proposed changes on a substantial portion of county property outside of the Bear Creek watershed where the fish live. We do support the preservation of greenback cutthroat trout, and we are aligned with the strict provisions already provided in the conservation easement. We seek your support for a master plan document that accurately lists the requirements and provides for future local collaborations to care for this unique property. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here wishing to speak on any item not on today's agenda? We have two former commissioners in our midst today.
Commissioner Day. Good morning, commissioners, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, as always. Amy Lathan. I'm a former county commissioner, and I'm just simply here to speak to this very same issue. Just to say that the intent back in 2016 was to keep this local, was to preserve, just as has been stated, we certainly want to preserve the wildlife there. We want to preserve the intent, but in that intent is the representative republic process that we, which is why we engaged in that issue back then. And we just ask that it not, that authority on the decisions for this not be ceded to a non-local entity. I think it's great. It's obvious. It's consultation is a very good thing. We learned so much from that. But you have the authority over this, and we want to keep it local for the people who preserved it back then. So I know that the Palmer, we trust the Palmer Trust. We know that the right things will be done, but we ask that you not give more authority over to outside interests, because we know that you can do that right here. So that was the intent back then. I appreciate you allowing me to just speak to that and just try to maintain what that intent was, because we know that local control is always the very best thing. And I would just mention, I'm doing my part on population. I have a second grandbaby coming, so yay.
Congratulations.
So anyway, I just thank you for just taking a little step back to what we were thinking back in 2016. And I appreciate your time. Be blessed. Thank you
very much. Are there any others wishing to speak on any item not on today's agenda? Okay, hearing none in the room and none online. Thank you very much for your patience today. That brings us to item number 9.
Item number 9 is the called up consent calendar, and there are no items called up today.
Item 10.
Item number 10 is department and committee reports, non-action items, and there are none.
Item 11.
Item 11 is the addendum, and there are no addendums today.
Item 12.
Item 12 is the executive session, and there is no request for executive session.
We are adjourned.